Where are you? The things I do for neglected BMWs. What the was that? Eh. That's not it. Oh, that's it. That's it. Let me go. This, excuse me, this is the rarest production BMW Touring / Alpina E39 B10 V8S. Took me a long time to find you, my friend.
Say hello to project Suonenjoki. This 2002 Alpina B10 V8S with 306,000 kilometers is as rare as it gets, with only 43 made in the touring variant. Powered by Alpina's F5 V8 engine, which has been stroked to 4.8 liters, pumping out 375 PS and 510 Nm of torque, making it the most powerful production E39 Touring that will get you from 0 to 100 km/h in just 5.6 seconds. Despite the believable intro, this neglected specimen found me via email, when the owner Marcus offered it to me for sale. It's originally a German car that's been imported to Finland in 2012-2013, and it's been off the road for the last several years. So logically, instead of shipping it, we are going to service it and drive it 2,500 kilometers back home to Frankfurt over 6 countries.
First impressions in Alpina B10, it drives a lot better than I expected, because the car was essentially off the road since 2016?
Yeah, about
2016. It drives wonderfully. I sent brand new tires before I came here, and Marcus kindly mounted those. And we have Continental Conti Sport 7, and it just feels wonderful. It's very comfortable. The only thing that I'm noticing so far, the brake pedal is a bit mushy. There's a big crack in the windshield, but that's not a big deal.
As the long journey lies in front of us, a nice checkover of the car and some maintenance is in order. We are driving to Marcus's friend Danny, who has a workshop and generously allowed us to work on the car there.
I have a big box with parts that I also sent before I came here, and also all of the fluids from Liqui Moly. This car feels so freaking good. There is no rattle inside whatsoever. It's super comfortable. It's tracking straight. I can't believe it's this good, and it's been sitting since 2016. Actually, since 2012 or 2013, when it was imported to Finland from Germany, I believe it only covered like maybe 5,000 or 6,000 kilometers. I think Marcus didn't drive a lot, at least according to the service records. And the timing chain guides were done, so that's very good, because that's a big thing with the M62.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, no time to waste. It's currently 11:25, so we gotta do a quick service, quick inspection, and then be on the road, hopefully by 5 or 6, and then get to Helsinki, spend the night over there, and then catch the ferry to Estonia the next morning. And this is the big box with parts. So I'm thinking, let's start with the oil change first, since the car is nice and warm. Goodies. The fan clutch tool, oil filter, 1060. There it is, M62 4.8 power plant by Alpina. Oh, that's loose. Let that oil drain back into the pan. So if you look here, it says 0W30, which is essentially soup. That's way too thin for this engine. I don't know what's in it right now, but I want to make sure we have fresh oil and 1060 in it. That being said, this oil doesn't look too bad. This is originally a German car, as I said, imported to Finland in 2012. So rust could be a potential issue here. The rear shocks, I think that's brand new. Control arm, ball joints, rubber boots, that's shot. Same for the guide link. Nothing that'll stop us from getting home though. Looks really good here. No signs of rust, but let's see the jacking points. Yep, you can see a little bit here. But this is very typical for E39. Project Rottweiler is the same way. Here a little bit as well, coming through. And then on the other side, same sketchy fuel lines, but we're not gonna mess around with those now. And then a bit of surface rust here, but it's not bad. Let's check out the front. Ball joints are good. It was raining outside, so I can't say if the struts are leaking. The front rotors are good. Let's see how many million oil leaks we have. Are you telling me we don't have any oil leaks? A little bit from the cooler here, from this line. Believe that's for the transmission. And then power steering, but nothing from the engine. The drain plug is leaking, the belts all look good, but no leaks from the engine, remarkably. So you can see that the thrust arm bushings are done. How about the other one? This one is about the same, full of cracks and stuff. Typical, I would say maybe this was replaced God knows when. Sway bar links look good. All right, this all looks great, man. That all does look fairly good. I thought I'm gonna have more work here, but now I'm standing here holding this oil pan and there isn't much to do, if I'm being honest. Definitely gonna bleed the brakes, do the fan clutch, absolutely have to do that, because I bet that was never replaced. And if that goes, it's gonna take out everything in front of the engine. Other than that, I think we're just gonna pack up and go. No sense in wasting time, it's a very long trip. Done? Oh, okay, so this is all automatic, it's very cool. Good stuff. I brought so many parts, just in case. Pre-lubed oil filter. The bushings are broken. Very typical on the V8s. Oh, the other one went as well now. Might need to deploy a zip tie here. All right, that'll do. Just stop this from moving. I'm so skilled with zip ties. Look at that. Temporarily, permanently fixed. Our first ghetto fix. Top up the oil. So as I mentioned previously while driving in the car, the timing chain guides were done on this car, which is really, really good and important because the M62, due to age, the plastic guides, they just come apart. Oil change done. Air filter, ooh, really, really bad. Look at that, properly bad. From 2009, not good. Now you're gonna attempt to get the fan clutch off. Oh, yes. That was easy. One of the most important things to replace on an old Beamer, I think this might be the original one. So this can blow up any minute, and once it locks up, all of the blades explode and it cuts everything in front of the engine and ruins your hood as well. Seen it many times, so very, very vital to replace. That's not right. That's not even secured in place. The clamp is completely loose. So the car had a vacuum leak. I'm going to get the belts off so I can inspect the pulleys, the water pump, all that good stuff. Coolant hoses look decent. Compress the tensioner and get the belt off. Original belt. It's good. It's old, but it's good. Let's check pulleys. This is shot. Not too bad. That's short. The water pump, I have a brand new water pump, but since that is a big job, I would prefer not to do it here. Normal amount of play, that feels fine. AC tensioner is a bit rusty and it won't compress, and I'm afraid to push it, so I might break it. All right, I did get the right pulleys, so we're gonna replace those. That's one pulley off. Let me see if I can get the other one off. I really don't want to snap that bolt. There we go. All right, let's do the tensioner as well, because I have that too. These are the sort of things that can leave us stranded. If the belt snaps or the tensioner misbehaves. This is the new tensioner. Look at my sneakers. It almost looks like I was chasing something through the woods. We need to clean the threads here. Excellent. And then he has a brand new bolt. Goes in smoothly. Perfecto. That'll do. Brand new pulley. That's what a pulley should do. So, even though that brand is pretty crappy, the pulleys that you get inside are made in Japan. Not cheap. Now you can get the belt off. That's the AC belt. The pulley's shot, but do I have one more? I do not. Looks like I only bought two for some reason. So we're gonna use one of the old ones that was. This one will do. This one is bad. So I believe they're the same. Alright. I've completely forgot to bring a diagnostic tool. Let's see if we can compress the tensioner now. Yes, before it was stuck. So compress it 3 times because it's brand new. 2, 3. And that way we get good service life out of that tensioner. Brand new belt. Perfect. This one goes underneath. We also have to compress this one 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Belt's done. Brand new fan blades and English. So Danny was the perfect place to come. You have everything. And then do just this. Nothing else. Should run a lot better now because no vacuum leaks. Brand new air filter. Engine acoustics. Let's start it. 306,882 kilometers. And it sounds peachy. All right, I think 2 last items to do before we leave. Bleed the brakes and replace the fuel filter. And I think that should do it for now. I have a lot more parts with me, like fuel pump, thermostat, water pump, coolant hoses. But I don't want to do the cooling system right now because that might take forever. That being said, we can check the coolant. I think it's fairly cold. And it's wrong. Wrong coolant in there, it's green. It'll be fine. That was probably in there for a while. Because if we drain the coolant, I gotta drain from the low radiator hose, from the radiator, from the block. The coolant is gonna go absolutely everywhere. And I don't think you have, yeah. So we're not gonna do it here. It's gonna make a huge mess. So coolant, it is what it is. Power steering fluid. Ooh, that's really brown looking. Do you have a suction device? We don't have to drain this power steering fluid, but we can withdraw this a couple of times, add new fluid, and then keep starting and stopping the car until it kind of cycles in the system. Thankfully, Liquid Moly has us covered with power steering fluid. But first, a healthy snack, I think, is in order. I'm going swimmingly so far. Ooh, what a device this is. It's all metal. How old is this? Yeah, it looks good and it works good. Nice pink color. Now I'm gonna start it, turn the steering wheel a couple of times, and then repeat this process 3 or 4 times, and that should get enough fresh fluid in there. This is like some sort of medieval device. Look at that.
The headlights, the adjusters are broken, so the left headlight is going to be pointing all the way down and basically be useless. At night, most of this is broken, but that's not a big deal. This one is fine. So we have one good headlight. I do have spark plugs as well. We could, in theory, do that, but I mean, the car runs fine, the engine sounds good, so. The fuel filter lives behind this panel here, so I'm gonna get that off. The longest clip tool I've seen in my life. Look at that. The jacking point actually looks good. A tiny bit of rust there, but it's nothing. Original BMW filter. Let's first make sure I got the right one. Yep, looks good. There we go. And you can see that the fuel is not super clear. And if we do it from this side, you can see that the fuel is much clearer. This is cloudy and dirty. And then when I do it on this side, it's nice and clean. So the filter is pretty dirty. 2009. I brought fuel lines and hose clamps with me. Got some silicone spray from Liquid Moly. Otherwise, these vacuum lines can be a nightmare to put back on. That's done. Now I can put the cover back on. Okay, onto the brakes. This is the brake fluid reservoir. It does not look great, actually looks black. Dot 4 brake fluid. Right. I think that'll do. Perfect. Gotta love Alpina rims. So brand new Continental Sport Contact 7 tires. Jeez, this thing is fast. Let's check for play in the wheels. This wheel is good. The rear rotors are shot, a massive lip. Pads are nice and thick. And someone replaced the air springs in the back, which is really good. And as we saw before, new rear shocks as well. All right, time to bleed the brakes. Okay, pulling. Good. We have Alpina, I believe, 4-piston calipers. Yep, Brembo, and really rusty rotors, but they're nice and thick. This shock is leaking. I think this might be the original one. You see, whenever you see gunk like that, that means there was oil here and that this shock leaked out. Doesn't feel that terrible when you drive it though. Brake bleeding done. Let's see what this fluid looks like. Oh my, that is bad. That is just pure black. Coffee. It's so important to replace the brake fluid every 2, maximum 3 years. These are very similar calipers to what I used on Project Rottweil. Brembo 4-piston. I think these might be a bit bigger, maybe even the same. Man, none of the bolts for the under tray are missing, and it's not broken either, which is very surprising. And that's it. We are ready to hit the road. Alright, service done. Really, really nice people. Many thanks to Danny. Really hospitable. Had all of the tools and everything we needed. Everything went smoothly, which is great. The only thing I wish I did was replace the spark plugs, but maybe we do that along the way or something. The car runs great. I don't know the condition of the spark plugs, but I know that the engine runs perfect. So I'm gonna treat myself with a chocolate bar now, and we are heading to Marcus to do the paperwork with him, and then we're gonna start driving towards Helsinki. It just reminds me of America. All these wooden houses and stuff. Look at that road. Look at that.
Actually pulls better now because it doesn't have a vacuum leak. Very healthy engine. This is a proper engine that Alpina built. Amazing. The brakes feel a lot better. The rear pedal is no longer mushy. Feels nice and firm. Sport mode. Oh. It pulls awesome, and the transmission feels great because it has specific Alpina programming for this old transmission, and it works brilliantly. Much better than, say, Project Rottweil. Okay, I think we have our first breakdown. The famous E39. No, window regulator. Oh, gonna be fun if we can close that. Oh, it's completely fallen out. It will not go up. It'll go down, but I can do this with the glass. Really? Had to happen now? We might need to stop by the software store and get some Gorilla Tape or whatever. Okay. Guess we're driving with a half open window now. That's brilliant. Just imagining Finns drifting here on snow in winter time, just jumping their cars. So I've been to a lot of places, but I've never driven on a road like this that just constantly goes up and down, left and right, and you're surrounded by forest. We're still in Suonenjoki. Time to get the fuel. And look at that, another E39. That one looks a bit worse than ours. And it's hella rusty as well. Daily driver, beater. First fuel stop of many. So this is a typical spot for rust on E39, and you can see that this one already had some repairs and has a bit of rust here. So this will need to be done again. 98. So it looks like Finland is also one of those countries where they don't have that little thing here. You have to stand here, and there's a trick that we can do. There you go. So I'm gonna keep track of the fuel consumption. Grabbing some papers for checking the oil later. So the window regulator decided to take a dump. Doesn't want to go up. So we need to fix this the right way with some ducky tape. Beautiful. Let's do another one for good measure. Beautifully executed. Want to show you something else? So we just finished paperwork with Marcus. And by the way, huge thank you to Marcus and his family. Super, super hospitable people. Incredibly nice. They gave us coffee, snack, and he took his time to help us with the car, do the tires and wait on us and all that stuff. All of this are service records for this car. And among these records are the time machine guys. So very expensive records as well. Most of this stuff is actually from Germany, and it was owned by some company in the beginning. Maybe it had like 2 owners over there. It comes with actually 5 keys and the old original Alpina keychain, which is really cool. So 2 main keys, valet keys, and then like 2 whatever keys. And then of course Alpina booklet. Look at that. All of the books in Deutsch. So here's the Alpina booklet, how to use car, Aral Tankstelle. Oh, map, look at that. We can use this to get home. Comes with absolutely everything. What a car, man. 300,000 kilometers, but this car was kept well by its previous owners. It's been sitting for a while. That's why all of these issues, small issues, for now are coming up. But overall, the car feels solid. So we fueled up. Now we're gonna hit the road, go directly to Helsinki, where we're gonna spend the night. And then the next morning, we're gonna catch the ferry to Tallinn, to Estonia, and then continue driving from there. Watch this. This car has the same feature that big engines in the E38 have. So you just click the key and it starts on its own. Really cool. And we just spotted this. The cigarette lighter looks like it's never been used. Amazing. Do the cup holders work? Do we have working cup holders? Ah, this car is perfect. We just discovered this as well. A working lamp. It's missing a cover here, but it works. That's pretty unbelievable. This thing is like 20 years old, 21 years old, and it works. Things that don't work though, navigation, the window regulator obviously, AC is dead. Oh, the cruise control works brilliantly, but this is a typical issue with these thin E46, E39 steering wheels. This twists. And the leather is completely worn, so we'll need to recover the steering wheel. It has the garage door opener here, which is really cool. So the European version, that's quite rare. Sunroof, didn't try that. Don't want to try that. The sunshade in the rear is broken. The tailgate doesn't stay open. That's quite annoying, but common on the E39 Touring. When I brake, it pulls to the right and sometimes to the left. The thrust arm bushings are definitely shot. And we might have like sticky calipers or something, which wouldn't be surprising given that the car hasn't been driven properly in, what, 7 years? Made it to Helsinki. We've done nearly 400 kilometers with all of the driving that we've done in Suonenjoki, and the car didn't miss a beat. It's still working perfectly fine. The engine is smooth as silk, got 12.15 fuel consumption, so not too bad. We did drive somewhat slowly on the back roads because Finland, there are speed cameras absolutely everywhere. You have to be extra careful. It's nearly 11 o'clock on Sunday. Too bad we're not going to be able to see much of the city because we're going to hit the bed now, and then tomorrow morning we have a ferry at 9 and we have to be there according to the booking 2 hours ahead for some reason. In other news, there's a giant spider right over there in the corner. I would prefer not to kill it, but push come to shove, that is going down. Don't like spiders or insects in general. I can also tell that the rear subframe bushings are shot when driving on uneven surfaces or hitting bumpy stuff and potholes. The rear end is a bit loose, a bit shaky, and Project Rotwell was behaving the exact same way before I changed them. Front shocks, I think a bit weak, but the car is comfortable. It really is comfortable, despite having 19-inch rims. So Alpina did really good suspension on this car. Another thing, remember what I was telling you about the headlight earlier? The left one is pointing completely down. So when we were driving on the back roads, it was pitch dark, really difficult to see up front. So you can actually see it on the back of the bus. You can see that the right one is pretty much where it's supposed to be, and then the left one is just all the way down. So we might need to do some magic with ducky tape. We're staying at Holiday Inn, and it said that they have private parking, which is kind of important when you don't have working window regulators. Anyone can get into the car. Good morning, good people. It's way too early o'clock. Every time I wake up before 9, well, if I'm being honest, before 10, I'm completely dysfunctional. But we have a ferry to catch, so we shall get up early. So this car has good equipment, but gonna need to retrofit a couple of things. Electric steering column and electric seats, just a must. We're weird that someone would opt the car without that and get everything else. Hello. My window doesn't work. Thank you. Sorry, the window regulator doesn't work. Which one do you need?
This one, okay. And lane number 2 on the other side over there.
It's not bad the window regulator doesn't work. I forgot the diagnostic tool, and I also have no tools whatsoever. Just one screwdriver in the trunk. That's part of the toolkit of the car. Nothing else. I'm being very optimistic here. All right, we are officially leaving Finland. Finland is a beautiful country, and I'm gonna have to come back with my wife for sure. Beautiful country, beautiful people. So thank you very much, Finland. Bye-bye, Finland. We have officially landed in Tallinn, Estonia. We have 23 hours and 32 minutes to get to Frankfurt. So I'm posting as I go on Instagram, and as always have a bunch of people writing me, come over here, come over there, stop for coffee and this and that. Would love to do that, but I just can't manage it time-wise. It's sprint to get back home and get back to the projects. So I've been teasing on Instagram about this car, and people keep saying that this should be Project Perkele, which to my understanding is not a very nice word. Google says it means evil spirit. Ah, my window fix is failing. See how good the transmission is? You just give it a little bit of an input and it's immediately gonna shift faster, and it's gonna, you know, pick up the pace. With stock software, it doesn't do that. So Alpina software is on point. Really, really good. Even if you have a 540i or 530i, I would highly recommend getting Alpina software for the transmission. Completely changes the car. This would be a great daily driver. Plenty of power, comfortable. Ah, what a beautiful day. The car has beautiful character. It's very much different than, say, 530i that I'm dailying now. The steering, it's better on the 6-cylinder because the 6-cylinder has a steering rack, and it's also much lighter in the front end. You can feel the weight of this car, but still, it handles brilliantly. It's a Grand Tourer, this car. You can comfortably cruise and drive this across Europe, which is what we are doing. We are leaving Tallinn in the rearview mirror, and we are heading towards Warsaw. Warsaw is about 11 hours from here. We're gonna spend the night over there, and then tomorrow, rest of the journey, it's going to be straight back to Frankfurt and do this drive essentially in 2 days. It's not too bad, unless the car gives us problems, but I don't think it will. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think it will. Fuel stop, Circle K. Thank God they have that here. So I'm gonna calculate fuel consumption, 12.37. Not too bad. I'm actually getting better fuel consumption with E30 on M5 on the highway though, because it's a 6-speed. Gonna do a quick oil check. And it's perfect. Didn't use any oil. Good to go. Welcome to Latvia. Since Alpina is doing really well, I think it deserves a nice wash. Let's see if it'll clean up. We are currently leaving Riga. Just washed the car, and I was planning to stop somewhere to have a proper look around, but I realized we are way behind schedule. We are supposed to arrive now at Warsaw 15 minutes past midnight, so that's pretty late. So we're just gonna hit the throttle and eat up the kilometers. We have 663 kilometers to Warsaw, but really like Latvia, really like the vibe here. Really beautiful, really clean. The roads outside of the city are perfect. smooth as silk. You were hoping for a breakdown, didn't you? No, no, no. It's an E39 and a proper V8. Effortlessly. And we are entering Lithuania. Well, welcome to Lithuania. Oh, okay, so the roads are worse than in Latvia, huh? Nice back roads in Lithuania. We have a bird in the dashboard. Car feels great. Suspension definitely needs a bit of work, but overall, approved.
I posted on my stories that I was passing through Lithuania, and I've never received so many messages from fans from one country. So a big shout out to all Lithuanians out there.
Yep, I'm not surprised that we went off the road. Nothing is marked. So we are still in Lithuania and about to enter Poland in about 19 kilometers. And the roads are, I don't like them. It's a bit sketchy. As you can see, the headlights on the car suck. You can't see much, and then nothing is properly marked. Like you have these lines, but they just go all over the place. They don't follow the actual road. And then you have these signs and you have huge ditches on the side. And that truck went into a ditch. Hi, sorry, the window doesn't work.
Control your passports, please.
Passports? 1 second. Thank you very much. Oh, good evening. We reached Poland, and so far I like it. The highway is in really good state, no potholes, it's nice and smooth. Perfect. We have 3 hours to the hotel, 296 kilometers left. Bienvenido to Warsaw. Just made it, 6 minutes past midnight. Woke up this morning around 5:45. So quite a long day, feeling really tired. It's time to get a shower and hit the bed. We covered nearly, I want to say around 1,400 kilometers with the car since yesterday. And it's been absolutely perfect. Good morning, beautiful Poland. Had a good rest last night, and now it's time for the final leg of this fairly uneventful journey, at least when it comes to the car. It just works. I know some of you are expecting it to break, but that's not happening. It's an E39 with a proper engine. We have 1,062 kilometers to go, and then we're back in the dojo. And we're going to experience the Autobahn for the very first time in this car, and I'm so excited for that. So far, I like driving in Poland the best. The highway, it's perfect. Actually, better condition than in Germany. And you can drive fast, fairly fast here. At night, there are no cops, there are no speeding cameras, so it was a really enjoyable ride. Estonia was good, Finland was good, but too many speeding cameras. Latvia was really good on the back roads. Lithuania, good on the back roads. Highways, not so much, not really good condition and whatnot, but all of the countries that we've been through, absolutely amazing. And I really wish I had time to just stop and, I don't know, sit, go for coffee, meet some of you along the way, and explore the city. And just like that, we are in Deutschland. We made it, but it's currently a proper Finnish sauna in here because it's a proper summer day outside. It's end of the September and it's 33 degrees Celsius and the AC is not working. But we'll drive fast. The faster you drive, the cooler you feel. And the best sign in the world is coming up, which means we can gun it. The window is making a ton of noise. 220. That's 240. All right, so I just pushed the car really hard for the very first time. We hit the speed limiter. It's electronically limited to 250, I think, or 255. The speed was showing nearly 270, and it wouldn't go past that. But the gearbox seems to be acting up now because it won't upshift. Oh, there it is. Manually now it worked. We have noise from the front, so we're gonna pull off now to inspect it. All right, let's see. Oh, I know what it is. I can see the problem. The aerodynamics happened and the tire has eaten the lower part of the fender liner, and that's what's rattling. And let's see if it destroyed the tire in the process. Well, the tire is still good. That's really good news. But you can see here that this just came off. Don't have any tools. All right, we need to baby it to a gas station and see if I can find a cutter or an 8mm socket to remove the rest of this plastic. At least it's not the engine or the brakes. It's fueled up. Fuel consumption went up to 17 point something right now because of the Autobahn, and they don't have any tools at the gas station, so I'm gonna go to a nearby workshop that I just found on Google Maps and just ask if I can borrow a 8mm socket and get that plastic off. That nice man over there is gonna look for an 8mm socket or 8mm wrench. Good thing we didn't ruin the bumper. You just shredded the plastic and it's everywhere underneath. This is what I call stress testing on the Autobahn. When you drive fast, you can see all the flaws with the car. And this was one of the flaws. There are 3 8mm screws holding this in, and they're all rusty. That's the problem. This went into the tire. Thankfully, it didn't ruin the tire. It didn't damage the tire at all. We just have melted plastic on top of it, which will go away once we start driving. Gonna return the wrench to the nice man over there. Just need to tape the sensor a little bit and make sure that doesn't go anywhere. Yep. It's professionally fixed. I just jammed the sensor in and used some tape to keep it in place. Vámonos! And we're hitting the limiter. That's it, 270. Won't go past that. Around 270, which should be 255 with GPS. So you can see now that the transmission is acting up a little bit, but maybe this is also normal, like the safe mode, because we drove really fast now and it won't upshift. It won't change gears. See, I let go of the throttle, it should go to the 4th or 5th, but it's holding the revs. I think the transmission is probably way too hot. So if I go into a manual mode, yeah, we're in 4th. I try 4th, doesn't want to shift. Ah, there we go. Finally shifted. We have arrived. Frankfurt is in sight, 5 minutes away. And a few things to note about the car. I pushed it really, really hard, like foot to the floor wherever I could. And that's really good for the engine because you get to clean up all of that carbon from slow driving. Plus, I put RL 102 octane fuel in it, and it definitely feels more alive. Before, I could feel that something was missing when accelerating from 120 to 220, but now it pulls like a train. It doesn't quite pull as good as E39 M5, but Alpina are masters when it comes to torque. It has plenty of torque, you can pull and go. It just works really, really good. The car itself, it's very special. From the moment you turn the key, you can tell that you're in something special. You can hear the engine noise, exhaust noise, and it's quite different than the standard 540i. Then you look at the dials and you're just sitting in something very special. So with that being said, I think I might be in love. Quite like this car. This would be a perfect daily driver. Anyway, I'm gonna drop Orion, my video editor and cameraman, to the hotel, and I'm gonna go straight home, kiss my wife, get some rest, and then we're gonna pick this up tomorrow in the dojo. 6 countries and over 2,500 kilometers with this glorious bucket. Funny day today. Found a €5 bill on the sidewalk this morning while going to get a homemade sandwich from the bakery. And then in the bakery I got free Zahar cake. And on the way here from my home to the dojo, the transmission went into fail-safe mode. Say what you will, but this car is meant to be here. I just washed it and unfortunately the paint is not good. It's not as bad as Project Rottweil, but plenty of scratches and dents and mismatched body panels. The lower part of the rear quarter panel as well as the side skirt, I think on the other side were repainted because there was some rust there, and now that doesn't match the rest of the car. Then the front bumper, rear bumper, tailgate, essentially every single body panel has some deep scratches, imperfections to the point where you can't polish it. So to make this car perfect, it will need a full respray. Which brings us to a very important topic where I would like your input. This is sapphire black metallic paint. And as you already know, I'm not the biggest fan of black paint because it's very difficult to maintain and it just hides all of the beautiful lines of this classic E39 shape. So I'm thinking complete color change to Alpina blue with Alpina stripes. Now that would look spectacular. But let me know what you think. The interior, someone was hungry and bit the carpet there. Plenty of wear on the bolster here, and this is just a standard BMW interior, nothing special about it. And I actually talked about this car with Alpina when I went to visit them with Project Chicago, and they might be willing to do a full leather interior for this car, and I'm thinking of going with either caramel leather or cinnamon leather, with of course Alpina stitching and embroidery. Now that would look special and appropriate for such a rare machine. Project Suonenjoki. I like that. Another one added to the already existing massive pile of projects. Trust me, I'm fully aware, but can you be really mad at me? This was too good of a deal and opportunity not to jump on. Before I forget, currently we have a 5-speed whatever Clank-O-Matic transmission in there, and I think we can do a lot better. Thinking 2 options. First, swapping the modern 8-speed ZF gearbox. You can actually do that. There's a company in Poland that makes adapter plates to bolt it to this engine. And the second one is, of course, 6-speed manual transmission from E39 M5. Which one would you choose? I'm thinking the latter as well. You simply can't go wrong with the 6-speed manual transmission in a Touring. I think with the manual plus better headers, maybe port the heads, different tune, I think we can get it to the same power level as E39 M5, and that would be really sweet. That being said, there's nothing wrong with this engine. It's very healthy, it just needs a good thorough service. Definitely needs Vanos done because it's very noisy. Maybe timing chain guides again, and that's it. But if you're going to do a full color change, then everything is coming out and we are going to refresh the engine anyway. Now I gotta give you the usual spiel of please don't expect the videos on this car anytime soon, because before I can start with this one, I need to finish poor Project Hovde E39 M5 that's been sitting on that lift for a couple of years now. And if you made it until the end of this video, well, thank you so much for watching, and please let me know how you liked it, how you like this format, because next year I'm planning something even bigger, something that hasn't been done on YouTube before, I think, a really big challenge, and it's gonna depend whether I can do it or not on if you watch these videos and, you know, like them in general. So, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.